at IITM is a part of CFI and is a student-led organization focused on advancing web operations and blockchain technologies. The club provides a platform for students to engage in cutting-edge technological projects, develop practical skills, and contribute to impactful initiatives. Through workshops, hackathons, and collaborative projects, the club fosters a community of innovators and technologists. The Open to All Summer School at IITM is an annual educational initiative designed to offer intensive training sessions, lectures, and hands-on workshop across various disciplines. This event is open to students, researchers, and professionals from all around the world, covering a broad range of subjects, including emerging technologies. It provides participants with the opportunity to gain practical skills and knowledge from esteemed faculty and industry experts. And let's see about some of the achievements of WebOps and Blockchain Club. India Book of Record Achievements, the WebOps and Blockchain Club developed a secure and reliable online voting system for the students of IIT Madras based on the blockchain technology, ensuring integrity, transparency, and security of voting process. And next is the ChennaiWaterLogging.org, which we did along with the Tamil Nadu government, uh, a, a web platform to track and report waterlogging areas in Chennai during monsoon season. And next, the club created the InstiSpace app, a comprehensive platform designed to streamline various aspects of campus life. And also, everyone would have registered to all the summer school events with the help of the C5 website. And that was created by the WebOps and Blockchain Club. And yeah, before starting this session, I hope that uh, everyone has a text editor like Visual Studio Code. And if you're a person who's using Visual Studio Code, I hope that you go to this extension site in this leftmost corner, you have extension. And in that type live server, and you'll get this one live server. And I have uninstall option here. And if you haven't installed it, you will have that install option. And I hope that you guys install it right now. And okay, let's now start with our topic. And now first, once again, welcome everyone to Summer School, presented by WebOps and Blockchain Club. In the first session, today's session, we will dive into HTML and CSS. And I hope that by the end of the session, everyone will be able to create your own websites. And our target for this session is to create a website similar to InstiOLX. And our target for this summer school of WebOps is also to create an application similar to OLX in the name of InstiOLX. And next, let's take an analogy for the let's compare an analogy with HTML, CSS, and a human body. Like imagine the human body. The skeletal system consists of 206 bones forming the body structure, while skin and muscle define our appearance. Similarly, HTML acts like the skeletal system of a web page, built with various tags similar to the bone. And CSS acts like the skin and muscle of our body. And in case of a web page, CSS is the one which gives the web page an visually appealing look. And next, the abbreviation for HTML is Hypertext Markup Language, where hypertext means machine readable text, and markup indicates structuring text in a specific way. In much simpler terms, HTML instructs the browser on where to place which element on the web page, where to place an element on the web page. That's what HTML is in a single line. And next, a flexibility of HTML is that HTML is a case insensitive language. Like we can give the tags and attributes in uppercase, lowercase, or a mix of both. And while other languages like C++ and Python are case sensitive. And let's see the 4 essential tags for any HTML document. First one is the HTML tag. This tag marks the beginning and ending of an HTML file, encompassing all other tags inside it. Right. Here, I have created an HTML file called Summer School, and let's do coding side by side. And everyone also take your text editor so that you can have a live coding experience. And like we first create our HTML tag, and it's always a good practice that while you create your starting tag, always create your ending tag. And if you are having a text editor like VS Code, it will do that for you. But still, if you don't have it, have the practice. That's a good practice. And next is the head tag. This tag contains metadata about the web page, such as title and links to your CSS files. And let's create the head tag. Yeah. And next we have the title tag. This title tag sets the title of the web page. The content within the title tag is what you see as the text on the browser tab. So, like, yeah. And I have created the title tag. And here I'll just write something like hello world. And if you're using Visual Studio Code, like right click, and after installing live server, you can open with live server so that one second. Yeah. Like here you can see at the top that you see hello world. Like I'll just add 2 more exclamation marks, and now you'll see again, like as it's a live server, you have that flexibility that it itself refreshes for you. But if you don't have the live server, for each update, you need to click the refresh icon. So yeah, this is the title tag. And next, we have the body tag. And this tag holds all the content that will be displayed on the web page, including text, images, videos, links, and so on. So let's now again go the body tag. Yeah. Okay, we're done with the body tag. And yeah, let's next discuss the basic structure of how an HTML page looks. And as we saw in the previous code, this is how it looks. And yeah, this is an image way of describing it. And next we have some basic tags like doc type tag, and this is not a compulsory tag. And you also can note that it's a declaration, and this declaration it's used that in this declaration informs the browser about the document type. It should be the first line in every HTML document, by the way. And like before this, we'll get the doc type tag. And next we have the header tag. And this is used to define the header section of the content. And it contains about 6 different types of header starting from H1 to H6, where H1 is the largest. And as the number increases, like 1 to 6, the size of header decreases. So I'll just create H1 and I'll just give it like header 1. And you can see it's a big header. And I'll just create H2 and give it as header 2. And you can see we have header 2 here. And I'll just do it for header 3, header 4, header 5, and header 6. And I'll just change the size accordingly so that you can see how the 6 different headers are. Yeah. And now you can see it. And for better visibility, I'll just zoom the screen. Like now you can see the difference between all these 6 tags. And after header tag, we have the paragraph tag. And this defines a paragraph, and a browser automatically adds space before and after each p element for readability. So now the paragraph tag, and I'll just give it like this is a p tag, and you can see that we have a paragraph tag here. And next, I'll just, as we have discussed about the property of paragraph tag, as it adds a space after between two paragraph tags, let's check how it works. This is another p tag. And now you can see that in this website, we have a space between two paragraph tags, like a single line is created. And now let's go to the next tag, which is comment. Yeah, comment is a very important thing when it comes to coding. Like generally, and comment is a section of code which isn't processed by the browser. Like browser ignores that part, and comment is mostly a good practice which is used for the other coder to understand your code. Like for example, I am coding, and if you want to understand my code, I just use comments. Like, and this is the comment tag. This is a comment in HTML, but you can't see the website isn't changed. Like that's what a comment does. Like it's used for understanding. Like for example, I'm coding and I want someone to understand that this is a paragraph tag. So I write this is a p tag, and for the another person who is coding can understand. Like after seeing my code, can understand that okay, he used a paragraph tag here, and that's the use of comments. And next we are going to see about how to create list. And first, let's start with OL, ordered list. And ordered means we have the list numbered, like from 1, 2, 3, 4. And UL stands for unordered list, which is unordered. Instead of numbers, we have bulletins here. And both the list have list items, like they are represented by list items. And now let's see how we can create a list in HTML. And first, we'll start with OL, and this is the syntax of how you create. And I'll just put data one, and next I'll create another element like a list element li and give it as data2. And next again I'll create another one and give it as data3. And this is how an ordered list looks like in a web page, like 1, 2, 3. And if I want to create an unordered list, it has the same syntax, but instead of OL, you'll have UL. Yeah, now you can see instead of 1, 2, 3, we have bulletins over here. So this is the difference between ordered list, which is numbered, and unordered list, which uses bulletins. And next, let's dive to div tag. And this tag represents a division or section in an HTML page, uh, which is often used as a container for other elements. Like we'll see more about the use of div tag when it comes to styling an element in the CSS part, in the later part of our coding section. And nav tag stands for a navigation section, or represents a section of navigation links. And yeah, we'll just create a div tag and nav tag. This is a div tag, and this is, sorry, and this is a nav tag. Okay. And you can note that the browser doesn't insert a line break here. Like while in case of two paragraph tags, we have line break, but in case of div and nav tag, we don't have the feature. That's significant to paragraph tag. And next we have the anchor tag. This anchor tag defines a hyperlink. Like the hyperlink is generally used to link another page or another website or even a specific part of the same page. Like for example, we'll just try linking it with Google, and we just use the hyperlink referencing attribute, which we'll learn about later. And here I'll just give it like Google. Okay, that's all. And I'll just copy Google's link. Yeah. Oops. Oh wait, I'll just do it one second. And yeah, and yeah, we have got the Google hyperlink. And now on clicking over this navigates to the Google website. So yeah, that's it. And this is the use of an anchor tag, a tag. And next we have table, like how we are going to create a table on HTML. So yeah, first let's look into this diagram itself. Like this is how we create table. And when it comes to this table elements, like first we just declare the table tag, like top and bottom. The entire content inside the table is defined within table tag. And next is tr, which is table row, table row. So first inside the table row, we define the table header, like the heading of the table, like head one, head two. And next inside that, in next table row, we define table data and how many table data we want. So here we'll just create a table tag first. And then next inside it, we'll just create a table row. So inside table row, we'll just create the table header, and I'll just give it a name as head one. And I'll just give it a name as head 2 and head 3. Okay. And next, we'll again create a table row. And in that, we want to enter the data, like the table data, right? So we use the TD tag, table data tag. And I'll give it like data 1 and TD data 2 and next TD data 3. Okay. And I'll just again copy it and paste it over here. So now we got our tables regarding HTML. But in case, like, that a table is not without a border, like the table doesn't have a border. In such case, we use the style tag. And we learn more about this later in the HTML CSS part, like just put the table border and just writing these. But so I'll just say about this later while teaching CSS. I just give it a border, and yeah, and now we see that it has a border, like this table has a border. And like, again, to make it more better, yeah, and now we have like a normal table, how it looks like. And next, let's see about tags with no closing tag. And first, let's start with the image tag. And previous tags which we have discussed so far have a closing tag, like except doctorate tag, but that was a declaration. And yeah, the HTML tags, few HTML tags don't have a closing tag. Like first, let's start with the image tag. Like we are going to import an image on CSS, sorry, HTML. And first, we just start with the image tag, followed by the source. Uh, Followed by the source, like where we want that image. And I want to insert that image of a tree. So I'll just copy this link of a tree and I'll just paste it over here. Yeah. And now you can see that we have the image of a tree over here, like image tag followed by its source. We have the image of a tree. But in case, like if my browser is not able to fetch the image which I wanted it to fetch, then in that case, I want it to describe the image with the help of a text and alternate. So let me, for that, we use the alt alternative tag, alternative attribute, where we define it as tree image. So yeah, but now we won't be able to see that text. But in case this link is wrong, like I'll just remove a specific part of this link. And now the web browser is not able to fetch the tree's image. So in that case, we get some image icon and followed by the tree image, that alternative text, which was supposed to be there. And next we have HR tag. And this HR tag inserts an horizontal line. And next, we have the BR tag, which inserts a single line break. And let's see how both work. Like after this image tag, I'll just insert an HR tag. Yeah, an HR tag. And you can note that there is a line, like a whole line over here. That's the use of HR tag. And I just had some paragraph here. Like I'll just copy it and yeah, and I'll just paste it over here. And yeah, and you just see that this paragraph, like as a whole, it has no space. But let me take this conversation part of this paragraph, like this part. Yeah, this part of conversation. I want an old man to start from the next line. So yeah, here's conversation, and I just add a BR tag over here, and you just note that after conversation, the BR tag makes the next line start from the next line. So yeah, and yeah, you can add as many as BR tags you want. Like if you want another empty space, so yeah, it's not a problem. And next we have an input tag. So yeah, I'll just create an input tag. Hmm. Yeah, I just created an empty input tag. Like here you can type something randomly, but uh, and in input tag, there's a thing called type, like what type of input you want it to have. And so in that, I just gave it a text, like the input which we are getting is a text. And there is a feature called placeholder. Like, for example, this input is blank, right? Like, how would the person know this is an input? So in such case, like, I want them to know they want to enter the input. So I just give like enter input. And you can see that here, like, uh, the input bar is now closed. Sorry, inside the input, you can see like enter input. And as soon as I type something, this vanishes like something ABC. So yeah, it vanishes. But when there's nothing, you can see that we have this input option. And next, let's create a button in HTML. Like, uh, so yeah, this is how we create a button tag, and we just give something like click me. Yeah, and now you can see we have this button. And there's also a feature of button like which we're using. So on clicking a button, like on click, we just alert the web page so that like we get something like you have clicked the button, like you you have clicked the button. So yeah, now you see I'm clicking the button and the web page says like you have clicked the button. So yeah, that's a feature of button. And next, semantic elements. So semantic elements are elements which clearly describe its meaning to both the browser and developer. Like for example, a few examples of semantic element are the one which we described previously, the table. Like as the table tag says, we are going to build a table. So that's like perfect explanation. Like we and the browser both know, the developer and the browser are clearly able to understand the tag. But for example, we saw the div tag, like it tells nothing about its content, right? Like we don't know what's going to do. So that's a non-semantic tag. And few other examples of semantic tags are like listed below: footer, header, mark, time, summary, etc. And HTML attributes. And HTML attributes are codes like which provide additional information about the HTML element. So first, let's start with style attribute. Like, uh, yeah. So we will just see the syntax like p equal to style, and here we enter something. Let's use the style attribute here, like style style, and here we'll just give it a color. And know that the color spelling is the American spelling, not Indian UR. Okay, and we'll just give it a color aqua. And you just note that this entire text here is now an aqua color, which was previously black. So yeah. And next we have href, hyperlink referencing attribute, as we have previously seen for which we use for our website, right? In the anchor tag, which we use for Google to link it to Google. So in that, href is hyperlink referencing attribute. And next we have source attribute, like the image, like which we saw previously. Uh, so this src attribute specifies the source or URL of an image, like image source, and we just type the location of the image or an image address if it's an online. And ALT, the alternative text, like which we saw previously. Here, this tree image was alternative text, and this SRC was its source. And placeholder, as we have previously seen in this input type, the placeholder, how it works, and we just saw with the example, this enter input is a placeholder. Okay. And next we have class and ID attribute. Like this class and ID attribute are two of the most important attributes. Like when it comes to attributes, we may not be using the before four like more often, but ID and class are like the most oftenly used attributes. Like and when it comes to HTML and when it comes to CSS, they need is like they're the king of CSS when it comes to like they need the use of class and ID is more. And like okay. And also there's a point to note between class attribute and ID attribute is that for class attribute, multiple elements can have the same class attributes. Like if a paragraph tag wants to have the same style, like we previously saw, you want to give, okay, like a multiple, okay, just note this point. We'll see about this in later in detail and I think you'll understand it. And yeah, multiple elements can have the same class name while ID is unique. Like specific elements. If you want to target a specific element, you use this ID tag. And yeah, next we're just done with the basics of HTML. And I hope we'll just understand much more about it when we come to coding our website. And also I'll just show our website. Like this is a website which we are going to work in the second half of the session. Like we're going to create this website from scratch. So yeah, and we'll just go through this website. So this is how the website looks at the end of HTML and CSS, and we just use only HTML and CSS. So yeah, now CSS. So CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. It is used to control the look and feel of a web page, while HTML structures content. And CSS is just simply used to style a web page, and its basic thing is to make it visually appealing. That's all. And a few benefits of CSS is that instead of like we also saw that with HTML we can also use with style we can give color, but if we use CSS then we can be more specific, like keep HTML code more clean, which focus on structure, while with CSS we can focus more on the design and styling part. And also when it comes to styling, like one CSS file can be used to style multiple HTML web pages. And also with CSS, we can ensure a uniform look across all the web page. And yeah, in simple words, it makes the code much efficient. And yeah, let's see about the basic syntax of how CSS is. As we have seen with HTML, it starts with a tag and ends with a closing tag. Here, CSS starts with a selector and followed by curly braces, open and close. And inside it, we have declarations. And the declarations consist of first one, the property which you want to target, followed by the value. And this followed by the value and followed then a semicolon. So yeah, that's the basic structure syntax of CSS. And next, let's see how to add CSS like to our website. And there are just three ways of adding CSS to our website. One is using one is using the style tag. Like previously in this tag, we just saw like how in this table, like we just saw this table, we just added border to this table. So initially without the style tag, it was like normal text, right? Like text aligned in some specific way. Like I'm just commenting the style tag, and you can see that without the style tag, there was no border to this table. So after this adding the style tag, we are able to see a border to this table, and that's CSS. So if you want to add CSS, one way is by using style tag. And next is referencing an external CSS file. Right? For example, here I just created an empty file like summerschool.css, and we'll just link it on top of the file in the head column, like link and relation, like what's the relation, and yeah, and it's a style sheet, like style sheet, and then in hyperlink referencing, we just put summer, sorry, summerschool.css, and this is how we just link a CSS external file to our current file. And here in this empty file, we just add like all our CSS code so that it affects this main page, like main original page. And yeah, next let's see the third way of adding CSS to a web page. And the third way is using attributes like inline way, and which we saw previously here, like uh, once, which we previously saw here in the paragraph tag, uh, like we use this para style.aqua, right? Like, this is an inline way of using CSS. Okay. And next, let's see about CSS selectors. And for example, let's take this syntax like P bracket followed by the declaration of color. And this would only affect a paragraph tag. But what if my code has like 2 or 3 paragraph tags, and I want the first one to have text color as white, and the second and third one to have text color as like green and blue. So in that case, like it becomes more complicated, right? So to make it simple, there comes our heroes, which are like class and ID attributes, as I previously discussed. So those are the keys here, like lifesavers for CSS. So now let's see how we can add, like how CSS can be added like in different ways. Like, and yeah, I'll just, for example, let me just use this in this paragraph tag. Let me just give it a class, like class equal to class name. And for here in this paragraph tag, let me give this ID equal to ID name. Like, just for example, this is how you declare a class in ID. And next, let's see, like the main selectors, like first, if you just want to affect all tags, like here in this case, like P, then it affects all paragraph tags. So in such case, you just put P followed by the curly braces and declarations inside it. And yeah, and also one more important point, like it's not suggested, but still it's a good practice that make sure that all your class names and ID names are unique so that it's more easy while coding. So next, in case if you want to style a particular class, like here we have this paragraph tag, which is aqua in color, but I want to style this particular paragraph tag in, let it be red color, like this. This is another, where is it? Like this is another paragraph tag. I want it to be in red color. So, I mean, sorry, this is a paragraph tag, like class name, right? So for a class name, we just start with a dot, like dot class name, and it affects all the tags. So yeah, dot class name. Like I just gave my class name as class name. It can be anything, right? So here, like class name, right? So yeah, and I'll just give it a color of red. And now we notice that this is the paragraph tag is in red color right now. So yeah, and next, let's go to how would we affect an ID? Like not all things should have this, uh, shouldn't start with a dot class name. So in case of ID, we start with a hash. So yeah, let's go to this code and let's see, like for this paragraph tag, like PID name, we gave it as, we need to start it with a slash, like say hash ID name. Then I'll just give it a color of, uh, okay, right. Let it be blue. Okay. So yeah, now we can see this is a paragraph tag is in red color, and this is another paragraph tag is in blue color. So yeah, now we saw how we can apply styles to a class name, to a class and an ID. So Yeah, but in case like if you can also, if this P is inside a class name, you just put like P dot followed by the class name. So if two class name have the same and one is under like head and other one is under paragraph, you just put P dot class name, and for the other one you just put like head dot class name. So, okay, and that's why it's preferred to have unique class names and ID names. And next is asterisk, like universal selector. So, and it's always better to start with an, sorry, it's always better to just add the universal selectors at the top, like so that it's easily visible what you apply. So, so what can we apply here universally? So okay, let's give it a background color, like background color as some aquamarine. And now you can see like this entire web page has a color of aquamarine. So yeah, it's clearly visible. Like this entire web page, which was initially white, is now in this aquamarine color. Right. And next, next we have two dots, which like it's used for hover effects. Like let me show that website. Like for example, here is home, and when I hover over it, you can see a dark green color appears. And even in our simple HTML CSS code, we can do it. Like for example, uh, we have this a tag, like a href. So here we have this anchor tag, and we for this anchor tag, if you're applying hover, we just use this colon marks and write hover, type hover. And here, what I want to do, like on hovering, let me change the background color to white. Okay, background color. Awesome. Yeah, now you can see, like I said, it's some Alice blue, or and now on hovering over it, you just see that the effect, like it changes. The background color of Google changes. The anchor tag changes. And next we have like for input, we just use like input type equal to text to affect it. And now let's see over here, we have this input tag like at the last, we just defined it. So I'll just write it over here. Like for input tag, you just write input followed by square brackets type equal to text, and then what can I do? I'll just give it a font like color as blue. Uh, okay, I'll get some greenish color. Mm, okay, okay, like this color is not clearly visible. Let me add some other color. Yeah, okay, this type of green. And yeah, now you can see that here we have this green color as background over here for this input text type. Uh, we have this green background. So that's how we apply it for an input tag. And group selectors, like if you want to select multiple tags at the same time, like here even like even in our code, like previously this code, we had multiple tags like table tag, image tag, and yeah, nav tag. So like for example, let's take this div tag and nav tag, like div comma nav, and let's just give the text color as white. White. So now we see like this div and nav tag have text color white right now. So to select multiple elements at the same time, we separate it by a comma. We use comma in between them. So yeah, that's all we are done with selectors. And next we have fields. Like while applying, you might have noticed that I just use this color, background color. Like is this that much with CSS offers? But no, CSS has much more to offer. Like, and when it comes, let's start with color. Like color, it has like around few ways of representing a color. First one is F88, like the six things. This is called as hex code. Like each color has a hex code. Next is this common name, like we saw aqua, white, blue, green. So like that. And next is RGB, red, blue, green. And next is followed by RGBA, red, blue, green, and alpha. And alpha says about the color gradient, the opacity and background color. And it's also like kind of similar, but it's background color. And here color refers to the text color. And now font. Like in font, we have like multiple things like font style, font family, font size, font variant, font weight, and font height. Like if you want to bold a text, like for example, let's go to this div tag, and in font weight, in font weight, I'll just make these bold. Now you can see like from initial, these two have become bold, like div tags, these two are bold, right? So and next, we just had font family. So, okay, I'll just go here at the top, and in font family, I'll just give it some Gilman Sans. Yeah, this is a good font. And now you can note that the font has totally changed. Like initially it was somewhat different, and now I think you guys can clearly see the difference. Like we have used different font. And next, yeah, we have text. Like text contains alignment, like text align left, right, center, justify, and then we have text transform. Like either we transform into uppercase, lowercase, or capitalize. Capitalize means only the first case in uppercase and remaining on small case. And next we have text spacing and text shadows, and last one is text decoration. And let's see about text decoration. Like here, let's do it for an anchor tag on hovering. Like in text decoration, uh, like here it initially by default as an underline, right? So I don't want that underline. So in such case, I just type none. So on hovering, we can see that the underline is gone. So yeah, we get a new background color and the underline is gone. So, so that's the use of text decoration. And next, a few other fields are position property, like the type of positioning method used, like it can be static, it can be relative, or like when it comes to static, like static position elements are not affected. Like an element in static is not positioned in any specific way. It's always positioned according to the normal flow of the web page. And then we have relative. So an element with which is positioned with relative is just related to its normal position. And yeah, fixed means like self-defined. It can't move. It's totally fixed. Like even if you scroll down or not. And yeah, absolute means like an element is positioned like related to its nearest positioned ancestor. Uh, Instead of positioning relative to the viewport, I mean, how could I say, like fixed, like relative with respect to relative is positioning. So absolute position. And width, okay, like width can be expressed in few ways, like 100% with respect to the website size, or in pixels, or in EM and relative unit of saying it, like relative to the font size of the element it is used on. And height is also similar with height, self-explanatory, and three ways of expressing them. And float is used for positioning and formatting content. Like it's same, a bit same to element, but not same, totally same. And next we have box model. Like everything in CSS is like in web page, like everything is wrapped into boxes. So when we take like each and every tag in HTML and CSS is wrapped into boxes. Like it consists of the center content, followed by the padding, then the border, and then the outer margin. Like this is the initial structure, like how an HTML element is wrapped around. And yeah, let's see in this similar web page, like right click and go to inspect, like if you're coding along side by side, and just click some random tag, like let's go to this head, or no, wait, let's go to this paragraph tag. And now you can see that this paragraph tag is in a box. Like you can see it has some margins and border padding, and yeah, it's, and also on hovering, where is this paragraph? Oh, it's over here, right? This is a key tag. you can see that when I hover over the content, uh, when I hover over this content, you can see that the paragraph tag, there's some light blue color highlight over there. So yeah, and there's no padding and border, and there's a little bit of margin over there. So as the paragraph tag. And next, let's like initially I'll just create and I'll just remove all these stuff right now. And I'll just create a div tag like for better understanding. And yeah, I'll just remove all these two. And here in this div tag, I'll just give it a width of inside this div tag, I'll just give this is div tag. Okay. And I'll just give it a width of 100 pixels and height of 100 pixels. So uh, okay, 1 second, I'll just okay, I'll just do it the same itself. Yeah, okay, I'll just go with this. Basic. This is a div tag. Wait. Yeah, okay, I'll just go with this. This is a div tag, and I'll just give it around 300 pixels. Right? Yep, 300 pixels, and like I'll just give inspect, and I'll just go to that specific div tag. Okay, I'll just click on this div tag, and you can note that it has a content of okay, 300 is too big, I guess. I'll just give it as 200 itself. Okay. And now you can see that on hovering over it, you see a box of 200 into 200 size, like a square box of 200 into 200. And now, let's see here, like this is the structure, like center is the content, followed by padding, then border and margin. So let's add a padding of around like 10 pixels And yeah, now we can see that over here, like this is the box. Initially, it had no padding, and now you can see there's a 10 10 over here. Yeah, you can see there's 10 10 10 over here. Like, and in case like if I'm adding like 10, and I'll just add 5 pixels, this means like top and bottom have 10 pixels, followed by right and left hand 5 pixels. And next, I'll just add like 3 pixels. Hmm. And now you can see like top has 10 pixels, right and left has 5 pixels, and the bottom has 3 pixels. And in the last case, I'll just put 7. Okay. And now you can see in clockwise direction, it moves like 10 pixels, followed by 5 pixels, then 3 pixels, then 7 pixels. And that's how the padding is. And on hovering over this, you can see that the padding is. On clicking inspect and then clicking the respective div tag, you can see this box model over here. And okay, let it have initially 10 10 padding. And now let me give it a border. Like I'll just give it a border of 1 pixel and followed by solid. Like it's a type of border. And yeah, now you can see this. This has a border of 1 pixel. And okay, and now it's clearly visible, right? This border. And next, okay, here also if I hover over this border, you can see it. And I'll just keep, and the thing to note is padding is the gap between the border and the content. So you can clearly see it on when I'm hovering over this, the example. And now I'll create a margin. And a margin is just above the border, like think above the border, and I'll give it around 5 pixels. Now you can see it has a border of 5 pixels. Like initially it had less gap between the data tree and the border. Now it has a 5 pixels of extra gap. And yeah, padding and margin are also a bit same. Like in that context, if I add around 10 pixels again, top and bottom have 5, and left and right have 10. So, but in specific cases, like you note that this 200 into 200 remains the same. But when I'm creating a website, this total size of this box keeps on increasing, right? But I don't want such thing to happen. Like it changes the original with which I was initially coding this entire web page. So I don't want such thing to happen. I want like this entire border padding and content, everything to come under 200 into 200 pixels. In that case, I just the property called box sizing. And in that, by default, it's content box and we use border box. So you suddenly note that there's a decrease in size. Like initially it was 200 into 200, the center content. And now it's like 178.40 because just subtract from 200, subtract 20 and 0.8 plus 0.8, 1.6, like 21.6. Just subtract from 200. You have it like 178.400, like both the sides. So border boxing gives this flexibility. Like that's a use of border boxing. And yeah, I think that's what box model of CSS is. And next, let's see about Z-index. So yeah, Z-index is a property that specifies stacking order. And generally, elements with higher Z-index are placed above the elements having lower Z-index. Like now I'll show an application of Z-index. Like this is the website which we are going to create. And now you see as I hover down, the top heading icon remains on top and all the other contents of the website are going down, like going below it. So like, you just see like this remains on the top and everything goes below it. So in such case, I set a higher Z-index value for this header of our web page, like of our website, so that it doesn't go below any elements. And yeah, and this is how we use comment in an CSS. Like yeah, and in between this, like we just write the comments, like comment in CSS. Yeah, okay. This is how to write a comment in CSS. And after this, we have Flexbox. Like, Flexbox is a layout model that allows you to design complex layouts with ease. Like it is particularly useful for laying out items in a single dimension, either like by default row or column. And like initially during the CSS prehistoric ages, to make any elements, like even if you change the size of the web page, the elements remain stagnant and they weren't able to change it. So they had to mention each and everything like as a function or something. So after finding Flexbox, such work, the website itself, the browser itself does the work for everybody. So let's see. And here are the few properties of Flex and display, flex direction, flex wrap, justify content, align self, align item. So I think to understand flex better, let's see about one example. Like okay, here I just have created 3 boxes. This is how they initially look. So and I just use flex display, like display flex display property. In that I'll just give flex. And now all right, I'll just okay. And yeah, and now I just use display flex. And now you can see that this container, which was initially vertical, is now along the horizontal axis. And generally, we need to note something that we have 2 axes. One is the main axis, which is horizontal, and the other cross axis, which is vertical. And by using display flex, places elements along the main axis, and also by default, the main axis is horizontal. But if we want to change we can use the flex direction property. Right? Yeah, we use the flex direction property, and by default it is row. So we just set it to column. And now you notice that from the horizontal axis, it's now along the vertical axis, these three elements. So, and okay, like right now, I got to know how to align alignments. So how to align my items, like either on the vertical or horizontal axis, but how to align the items on the vertical and horizontal axis. And that when such a need arises, then the need for this property, justify content property, arises. So like, by default, it is flex start. So it is in the leftmost corner. But if I want it to be in the rightmost corner, I use a property called flex end. And now you can see that it's in the rightmost corner of the web page. And next, if I want it to be in the center, I just use the center property. And now you can see that it's in the center. But okay, like if I want space between all these three, there's a property called space between, like space between. And now you can see that there's equal space between these three items. But I don't want these boxes to be, like the side of the boxes to be close to the border. So I want to leave some space with the border also. And that case, I use a property called space around. So now we have five gaps, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, but I want all those five gaps to be okay. You have five gaps, and in case if you want all those five gaps to be equally spaced, then we have the property called space evenly property. So okay, and okay, right now we found how to align items along the horizontal axis, I mean main axis. Like, okay, you can also do this along the vertical axis if you just change it to column, like I think it would be same. But okay, but okay, right now I know how to align items along the horizontal axis, like along the main axis. So how would I align the items along the vertical, like cross axis? So there comes the need for align items property. Yeah, and as default is flex start again, and then we have flex end, like which aligns items at the bottom, and then again we have the center property, which aligns it at the center of the web page, and then we have a baseline property. Right? You may think that there's no change between baseline property; it looks like the same, like, but it just aligns. It looks like same as the flex start, right? But but the baseline property aligns the base text. Sorry, aligns the items based on the baseline of the text. So right now, I'll just in this first element, I'll just increase its size, like font size. Like I'll just make it 1.2 times. And now you see, okay, I make it 1.4 times, so it's more clear. Yeah. Now you see there's a gap, like all these three boxes aren't aligned at the same line. But you can see that the first box, if we like in the first item one, so if I just draw underline from this line, and if I extend it, like extrapolate it, it's also the underline for item three and so item two and item three. So yeah, aligning items along the baseline of the text is called baseline property. So I'll just remove it. So yeah, and just in case, like I have only three elements, but in this box, I'll just add like around 9 elements. So right now you see there are like more elements, and it's so clumsy, and it also exceeds the border. So in that case, like what can I do? So then in that case, I'll just use the flex wrap property, and it's by default no wrap. And so like these boxes are not in their initial sizes as well, so I want them to be in their initial sizes and also like placed in a neat manner. So then I use flex wrap property, and now you can see those Now you can see that all these 9 elements are like wrapped properly and evenly so that they retain their initial sizes also. So that's the use of flex wrap property. And yeah, that's all. We come to the end of our slides. And now let's see on how we are going to create our web page. And before that, if anyone has any doubts, you can ask like by raising your hands. Yeah, I think you can unmute it right now.
Please enable the chat.
Okay, 1 second.
Abhishek, you continue. We will see that.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I'll just continue and we'll just work on the chat part, like to enable it to everyone. So, yep, sorry for the inconvenience, by the way. And yeah, okay. And let's now start with our web page, like recording our web page. So, yeah, okay. And yeah, let's start with it. And the basic is like, I'll just give it a title of InstiOLX. And okay. And next, like here, we'll just start with this header. And due to time constraints, like if I type the entire code, it takes time. So I'll just copy these parts only, like this header part. And yeah, yeah. Okay, and yeah, initially, like from this code, like you can see, we have this logo, InstiOLX logo, and like the text. And next, we have this home, categories, login, and plus cell. So yeah, and first, like in Dev, I just gave it an ID option because I want it to be because it's unique, and I will just target it specifically. And next, I have this. Next, I defined a class div. A class is name bar and nav bar, navigation bar, and in that I gave it as home, categories, login, and in href I just linked it to the same page because I can't link it with another page too. And next in this tag, like I just created a style option, like, and here, uh, and here I just gave it a background color with linear gradient. Like generally, background color can be given in a different way. Like here, if you zoom in, you can look like, look that it's not a single color. You have a dark green color. Oh, yeah, okay. You have a dark green color at this bottom, followed by light green and a light yellowish color. And here I gave first we're giving linear gradient. You start with the angle. Like for example, it's 45, but if I can give it as 90, and you can see a small change was there, like 9. It's not that clearly visible, but still like there was a very small change in color. So okay. And and after that, I just gave some properties like text align center. And like here, there's a property called border radius. Like now, without this border radius, it's like a rectangle box. So you can add a border radius to make it like you can curl that corner parts. Like that's you give the border at the edges a small radius. So that's border radius. And yeah, here they gave it as 40 pixels. And I just use an inline style to use it over here. And now let's go to this coding part. And before that, for the general part, I just give it a margin as 0 because I want to customize each and everything. And padding also 0. And also like as here, we are using images and this border, I'll just make box sizing as border boxing. Like we previously discussed border boxing during box model of CSS. So I'll use that border boxing property, the border sizing property as so box sizing as border boxing. Oh yeah, border box. And next, yeah, I'll just give some common properties for the body. Like I'll just for reducing time, I'll just do this, and I'll just give a font followed by background color. Yeah, I'll just give a font like given. Oops. Yeah, okay. I'll just give this I just gave it a font family like Gilman Sans category and a background color of white for the entire body. And next after that, I just gave it a color like some darkish black gray color over here for this for the entire body content. And next, here we can note that we have a green color border, like a background for this entire header. So now let's code for this header part. And I'll just give a green border over here. And yeah, okay. You can note that I just gave a green border and I'll just zoom it and now you can clearly see, okay, it's now you can clearly see we have this InstiOLX, which is so small, but we'll change it later on by increasing font size, followed by these hypertext. And yeah, and next here, I just use this color, like the text color over here, InstiOLX. Initially, it was some black in color because I gave the body a black color. And now it has changed to white in color. So next, I just gave it a padding of 20, like from top to bottom. And in justify contents, I gave space between. So like you might think that in space between, we had like space between like equal, but here equally between 2 or 3 boxes there. But here, like you notice that InstiOLX is at one corner and the remaining stuff is at one corner. So why is it such so? So why is it such so? So because here we just gave that space between these two divs, like this div and this div. That's why we just created 2 separate divs so that we can make these two in these 2 corners, like as it's in my website. So that's the reason why. And yeah, that's again div became a lifesaver for CSS code. And yeah, we just use just and space property. And in align items, I just give it a center and position fixed. Like even if I scroll the website, I want its position to be fixed. And I just gave it a width to be 100% of the website and Z index as 100. Because like, as I said you while I was explaining Z index, even if I scroll down, like I want this to be at top, like every other content should go below it. And next, for the logo part, uh, like here we have this ID name as logo. So for the header slash logo or just even normal logo. So 1 second. Yeah. And here we just see like for this header, I gave a font size of 2 EM. So like relative twice I made it. So initially it was so small and now we sorted it out. And next, let's go with the anchor tags, like how we are going to change the anchor tags. Like we'll just give it a color white and font weight to be bold, like as we previously discussed it, and text decoration. Like I think if you remember for the Google on hovering, we just took the underline, and for that we just used text decoration to be none. And here we did the same because without text decoration none, we have this underlines and it doesn't look that good on the web page. So we just remove these text decoration and just add a few padding. Like initially I just thought of adding 12 to all, but I felt like the gap between these websites, like if it is 15, there's much more gap and it looked better. So and next on hovering over these, like on hovering over this navbar, uh, I wanted to have a specific effect. Like I'll just change the background color to 1 second. I'll just copy this background color. Yeah. And now we just see that on hovering over this, we get this dark green background color. So I just created with the hex code. And one just simple fact on Visual Studio Code is you can write colors in any format. Like even if it is in this color, on clicking the tab, I can change it to any way possible, like in RGB and the hex code, like whatever I want. And yeah, I think we are done with this header part. Like we added the hover effects followed by categories, login and stuff. So yeah, and now let's focus on adding the image, this InstiOLX image to our web page. So wait, let me just take this section and just paste it over here. I just defined a section tag and like it can be div also, no problem. And gave it a banner. Like I just gave it a class as banner, and inside it, I gave the name of this image like InstiOLX, and alternative is welcome banner. Like in case I'm not able to fetch the image, like and here you can see we have this image, and we just know that we are facing a problem that this occupies like more space than what we expected. So we just use the property of width in CSS to set it to 100% of this 100% so that it doesn't move like this. And yeah, I'll just do it CSS code and I'll just, yeah, okay. And yeah, and now I'll just paste it over here. Yeah, for this banner part. And now I made it question relative and I gave it a padding of 60 pixels on top, like because you can either give it like because I said it's clockwise top, right, left, so top, right, bottom, and left. That's the order. But in case like if you want it to be only on top, you can also specify it to be like padding top and need not give these remaining zeros. So it's still the same. So, but when I zoom in, I just find a small gap. But when I just sorry, one second. Okay. Like, but when I zoom in, only I'm able to see the small gap. So I'll just created around like 70 pixels so that it's even visible from here. Yeah, now we're able to see this gap like between the image and the heading. And I just gave it a width of 100% of the website because previously it was just shaking right and left. And after adding 100 pixels, it's And now it's working well. And yeah, we have just added the image, and next our job is to just add this search bar. Okay, and next I'll go here, and again I'll just go and copy search bar part and just paste it over here. And I just created a class called search bar, and in input I just gave the same, like as we discussed previously. Input type equal to text holder, and placeholder I gave it as search for products, like AB, like something. If you type something, we just get it. So it vanishes, the placeholder value vanishes. So yeah, that's all. And also on in button on click, I just gave alert search has been completed, like search has been completed, small effect. And okay, we just noticed that this is at the corner of the page and we want it to be in the center, like as it was in this web page, right? So in that case, like we will use flex, so that like we'll just flex, and in justify contents we can bring it to the center of our page. Like that's a solution for this. So yep, flex. This is the search bar, and I'll just yeah, and okay over here, and yeah, here's the search bar. I just added it a 20 pixels margin over here at the top, and to create some gap, or even we can reduce it to 10 pixels to make it fit close, or even 5 pixels looks better. Okay, yeah, we can add 5 pixels, and in display I just gave flex, and in just for contents I gave flex center. So now it's at the center of the web page. And next, in this, like as it's an input, we just use dot search for the class name followed by the input, and we have, like, I just gave it a width of 300 pixels followed by a padding of 10 pixels. Then in border I gave it a 2 pixel border, and at the border radius, like I gave it 5 pixels here followed by 0, 0, and 5 pixels, because I just want the border radius to be here at this corner, like top left corner, and bottom left corner. So, and also I don't want a border at right side. So I just remove the entire border at right side by using border right equal to 0. And here you might be wondering, what's this outline word? Like most of HTML CSS is just simple English, so you can easily understand it. Like right now I just commented it, and when I'm coding, just note, like I just write something like something hi. You know that there's a black border, but doesn't that make it like a bit uh, like it's not that good, right? So we'll just remove it. So for that we just use outline equal to none. Like we don't want any such outline. So yeah, and that's why we use this outline property. And next, we'll just change the search. Like we want to add some space, like we'll just add some extra padding along the left and right side, and we'll just give it a background color of green. And then afterwards, we'll just also give, like here we have it as 5 pixels, 5 pixels, 0, 0. Instead of that, there will be 0 pixels. And instead of these zeros, we'll get 5 pixels, because we want the border radius at the rightmost top rightmost corner and rightmost bottom corner. So yeah, I'll just write the code for this one, like search bar, and I'll just paste the entire code over here. And now you can see this. Okay. And now you can see that I just added an extra padding along the top, like 10 pixels. And this was 10 pixels. So that's why I added 10 pixels here. Like, or else, like if I add like 20 pixels, you'd see it looks different. So that doesn't suit it. So I just added 10 pixels and 10 pixels. And next in border, same. I follow the same border, followed by 2 pixels and same color. And I just removed the border on the left, like as I removed it on the right, and gave the same background color. And I wanted the text to be in white color. And also there's this wonderful property, like beautiful CSS property called cursors over here. like on hovering over a link, we get this pointer, like a node, we have this triangle thing, and on hovering over this, we have a finger, like this finger pointer. But in search, we don't have, for buttons, we don't have that. So in case if we want it to have it, we just add the property called cursor dot pointer. So that's how we do it, and that's how it's done. And sorry, yeah, yeah, okay. And now I just in hover, I just added the dark green color so that on hovering over it, like we get a dark green color, like the dark green shadow. Okay, and we are done with the search bar also. Like we're done with the search bar, and next target is to create the slideshow. This is one of the most interesting stuffs in CSS. So like it's really shocking that we can even do a slideshow with the help of only HTML and CSS. So yeah, let me just take this code. Okay, and here this is how we do it. And this is the code of HTML part. I first entirely create a div section, like div class for this, in the name of slideshow container. And here, if you notice, we have only 3 images, like cycle, bike, iPhone, then again cycle. So and here also AC, car, washing machine, basketball, CSK, and vacuum cleaner. So that's how it works. So and and yeah, and this is the HTML code. Like first we define the class section, followed by another div where we want the slideshows, like how many slideshows we want, followed by slideshow image, a common plus slideshow image, and followed by the variables image 1, image 2, image 3. And that's how, like, similarly, image 4, image 5, and image 6, then image 7, image 8, and image 9. So yeah, and now let's go to the CSS part. CSS part is like a bit interesting and totally different than what other CSS looks like. So yeah. First, here we have this slideshow container. So I'll just start with slideshow container here. And hmm, hmm, oops. I just commented the rest, and you just see I just gave it a display flex and justify content center and gap 50 pixels and flex wrap. We know what is flex wrap, as we have seen in that Flexbox concept, which I explained with the help of that example, followed by justify content center and display flex. But what is this gap property? Like you can see this between these 3 slides, in between we have a gap, and this is called the gap property, like simple English, 50 pixels. So next, we just go with slideshow class. And with this slideshow class, I just define the outer structure of these, how this slideshow looks. And I just give us a push and relator, and width as 350 pixels, height as 350 pixels, and overflow. Okay, what is this property called overflow? Like if I'm inside this square boxes, I'm writing a paragraph. And in case if the content of this paragraph exceeds this box, then in such case we face an issue where either the text appears outside the box or many scenarios. So in such scenario, I don't want the text to appear outside the box. So I use this property called overflow hidden. And again I gave it a box border radius of 20 pixels and a border, like a light gray border followed with 2 border pixels and a box shadow. And okay, I'll just make it to be more thicker. I just give it another font, like now it's much more clearly visible, this border radius. So yeah, next let's go with the class of slideshow image. And yeah, here we'll just use a slideshow image. And this is a general class, and here as we are defining its position with respect to a relative, we give it absolute, and I just give it 100% width and height, like so that it suits this entire slideshow. And in background size, I gave it as cover. Like as I'm using it width and height as 100%, I need to use a property called cover in this case, because in case of cover, if it exceeds like the box, then to hide it, like the image itself crops it and makes it fit perfectly inside this 315 to 350 pixel slideshow. So for that, I use this property called box size equal to cover. And in opacity, I give it as 0. And you might be thinking like, why I'm giving it as 0? Like I want to see the pictures, but I itself myself give its opacity to be 0. Like I vanish it. So the reason is, we'll see it later. And in animation iteration count, I just give it as infinity, like as many as time it should happen. And next, I'll just copy these. I'll just copy with the first 3 images over here, and this is how we do it. But okay, I'll just copy the first 3 images, like dot image 1, image 2, image 3. And here I just give this background image and I give the URL of it, followed by animation name. And this is a self-made name, like I gave it fade 1. And animation duration is 4 seconds. So like if you note it over here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, again the animation starts from the first. So yeah, for that, I just use this property. Yeah. And next, what I do is like, similarly, I did for third image and also gave it an animation duration of 4 seconds. And I just give it the fade 3 and fade 4. You might be wondering what it is. And now, with the help of this keyframes in CSS, like I define the animation, like how this animation should look like. So here in fade 1 for the image 1, I just gave it a property like let's just remove these. Like, uh, 1 second. Yeah, now we can see what I did is I just gave the function, like the animation function, as for the first to 33rd% of the animation, it should have opacity 1. And from 33 to 100, it should have opacity 0. So now the first image is an iPhone encrypted. That's an iPhone. So you can see for the first second it appears, and for the remaining from 33 to 100, it vanishes. Its opacity is 0. And sorry. And now I gave it for, and I defined the animation fade 2. And you can see from first to 33rd, it's 0, opacity is 0. And from 33rd to 66, its opacity is 1. And from 66 to 100, its opacity is 0. So we can see the first image, then the second is a cycle, then the third is, and the third one is gone. Like we can't see it. And finally, I just do it for the third one also. And now you can see the proper slideshow here, like at this corner. Like similarly, I'll just add all the remaining from image 4 to image 9. I'll just copy and paste it. Okay, and now you can see clearly like the proper slideshow of it. Like now it looks good. So that's how the slideshow works. Yeah, and after this, we need to create like this image on hovering. We just have that a new text appears. And so for that, again, okay, I'll just next our task is that. So for that, I'll just copy this part and I'll just explain it there and in the HTML code. Yeah, here first I create a div, like entire div container, and inside that I just add this happy shop.png, like this image, and I give it a class as image. Like I give the class itself as image, so don't confuse it. And next, I'll just give this text in between, like so. And initially, this is how it looks like without all these effects. And yeah, now let's work on the CSS effects. Like first, let's start with working on this container. Like, and for the container, I just give it a position relative and a maximum width of 100% so that this image which was previously too big, like as the problem which we faced during our InstiOLX image. Hmm. Yeah, so now this image is fixed and we don't have that moving effect like left, right. So it's fixed with 100% of the width and yeah, and now we are able to see, I also gave the image an opacity of 1, like it's visible, and a display block with 100% and height auto, like based on the width of the image, its height is auto. And next, we are just done with the class image. We're done with image. And now we just want this text to go away. So I just use this middle, like here we have this middle div class and then followed by text. So in this middle class, I just give it an opacity 0. So the image is totally gone. Like, and here I just give 50, left 50, and transform is minus 50 and minus 50. These are used to align the person image. Like for example, if I give it as 1, now you can see it. Like here it's the image. Like here's the image. So for this particular position, I just use the top 50, left 50, and translate as minus 50 and minus 50. And next, I'll just do some formatting with the text, like the color and stuff. Yeah, and now you can see this text has like some green color and stuff. Like now you can see it, but now we'll just hide it. Like I just gave it an opacity 1, and now I'll change it to opacity 0. Now it's gone. Like the text is gone. So next, our task is to add the hover effects. Like here's the hover effect. Like I just pasted it over here. Like on hovering over the image, its opacity changes to 0.3. Like okay, one second, I'll just delete this part. And now you can see, like on hovering over this, its opacity reduces. Like all of a sudden, it's from 1 to 0.3. We can even make it as 0. Like on hovering over it, it goes to 0. So like on hovering, it's gone, like totally gone. So and now we just do it for the image, like for the text, like we want the text to appear, right? So in that case, like now on hovering, we get the text. Like now we are able to see it, like the text about InstiOLX, welcome to InstiOLX and stuff. So now we did it. And there's also stuff like in CSS, instead of getting a text about, we can also get an image. Like on hovering over an image, we can get another image. And we have seen it in many websites too, like hovering over particular image, we get another image and all. So we can do that effect, and that's also a bit similar to this one. And next we have all these items which have been kept for sale. Okay, and on hovering over these items, they scale, like they resize, they get larger, and we get a sudden shadow over it, and we have this big border around it. So okay, for this big border, right now we might have a hint that we need to use a div here, and again give a border. And next we have small border here, then it means we need to give another div here for all these small items. Then again we have small border, which means another div, around 3 divs will be used here. So let's see how we use it. And first, like the HTML code, and yeah, also like we have given like chat in, like sorry, about the attendance link in chat box. So make sure that you guys mark your attendance on Google Form, please. Like, we just shared your that Google Form link over here so that it will be good for calculating attendance. So just mark your attendance on the Google Form, which is given in the chat. And yeah, okay. Now I'll just go to the coding part. Okay. And I'll just copy this first. Yeah, as I said, we have this div, container div. Oh no, we have this product listing div. Then we have this products div under which the products are, and followed by another div like for the product details. So I just copy this as a whole, like because like there are about now around 10 stuff. Yeah. Okay. And And yeah, once again about attendance, it has been posted on the chat of this group. Like not, it has been posted on the chat of this meet, like MS Teams meet. So just look on the meet chat for it. And yeah, like here I just have posted the images. Like first I started with the div, like which covers the all these. Here I had like around 10 images. So a div around which all these 10 images are bound. And next, for each product, I just created a div, like and the name under the name as product, and followed by the image tag. Like first here we have dishwasher, and then in div, and again I create a div tag called in the class of product info, and then I just uh, type the name of the product and followed by the price. And here you can note why I said like using class is a lifesaver when it comes to CSS. So instead of like coding for each and every class, like for dishwasher followed by refrigerator and so on, like refrigerator, AirPods, TV, iPhone, like I need to code for like each and everything, like line by line. So instead of that, if I give a common div class name, like class is product, here also it's product, and for the mini classes, subclasses, product info, product info, product info. We have many product infos, many products. So yeah, by creating a common class name, it's so good here. And that's how it looks. And inside the web page, it's totally uh like totally clumsy. Like we don't have any border and stuff. So we'll just add everything right now. Let's go to CSS and yeah, I'll just start with from the product listing and product. Yeah. And yeah, I'll just start with this product listing one. Yeah. Product listing, you can see I just gave it display flex, and in wrap I just gave it a quick wrap. Sorry, in flex wrap I just gave it as wrap because as we discussed, this is the use of wrap. Like uh, mm, we just saw it, and okay, this here it's not clearly explained, but we just saw the flex wrap, like many items side by side. It would reduce the size and it won't retain the initial sizes. So in that case, we just use flex wrap. And I just also gave it a margin, the gap. And after that, I just gave it a border followed by border radius and some padding. And next over here in the product, I just gave all those products a background color of white, followed by a border of little light gray, and again a border radius, followed by margin and padding. And then I gave a fixed width because I want all the cards over here. Like you can look, all the cards here are of same width. So I wanted all the cards to have same width. So in that case, I defined my width. And in text align, I gave it center. And here there comes in property, which I'll just explain later. Like that's a very cool property, like good CSS feature. And yeah, and now we have it for the images, and now we have it for the images. And for image, I gave it as 100% of the width. And wait, okay. And now you can see like after giving image all the images 100% width, we just can see that all these images are right now like previously they were like so clumsy, like somewhere else. Like wait, I'll just comment this, and now we can see like the images were like this, like totally like in their original sizes, which were like so huge, and this chair is so big, like too huge. So that's how they initially were. But on using this max width of 100%, we brought all these properties inside our width and inside these containers, and now they look perfect, like as we want them to look like. Now they are good. So that's the use of max width. And I also gave a bottom border, this small border, like between the dishwasher and dishwasher underline LG dishwasher. This is the border, bottom border, and also a product info H2. I gave it a font size of 1.2, followed by a color and bottom margin, the gap between dishwasher and the price. And yeah, and for product also I gave and size and color. Like, okay, and we are just missing one thing, which is on the hovering effects. Like, right now it looks like some normal website, right? This hovering effects like give life to these websites. So let's just give the hovering effects. Yeah, this is the website which we created. And now let's just add the hovering effects. Like, initially, there's no hovering effects, and we'll just add it over here. And now you can see that this website like, jumps, the size jumps. Like, we just add a box shadow, as we have seen the box shadow property. And in transform, we use the scale property, like scale to 1.05 times. Like, but here you note that there's something like odd about this website, like jumps all of a sudden. Like there isn't a smooth transition between the size. Like we want it to transition so smoothly. So that's where the need for the transition property arises, and we use the transition property. And yeah, and with the transition property, I just give it a 0.5 seconds to change it. Like now you can see, okay, or else I'll just give it around 2 seconds, and in scale, I'll just make it as 2.50 times, and now you can see it. Like it comes and goes like slowly, like this effect, this time which takes like without this time, it would just jump all of a sudden. Like if I just comment this, then you just see all of a sudden it becomes this big, and we don't have that kind of smooth transition. And so for that kind of transition, we just add this transition effect followed by the time, so that okay, I'll just reduce it again to 1.05. And now it looks perfect, like small scale with a small time and with a border rate, with a box shadow also. Now we are done with both the top part, and the only part remaining for us to do is the footer of our web page. Like, the only part that was remaining to do is the footer part. Like this is the web page, and we are missing this footer part of our web page. So yeah, let's finish it. And I'll just copy this entire footer part, and yeah, I'll just paste it over here. And yeah, okay. Right now, here I just declared a footer of class footer itself for convenience, and then another subclass of footer.container, then a div with footer column. Like here we had a few columns, right? 3 columns. And also you just note that we have these different kinds of logos, like location, call, WhatsApp logos and stuff. So if we want to import that, we need to use an external CSS uh, reference, or like external CSS source, which provides us those links. So in that case, uh, we just import this awesome fonts, right? That HTTP, CD, and JS. Like we just use this external CSS, which helps us import different image, different logos and stuff. Like, and right now you can clearly see like this is how these stuffs look like. We just have without CSS. And right now, I'll just add CSS to this and footer part. And yeah, mm, I'll just first start with this footer. Like initially, it has a background color followed by the text in white color, and I gave it an alignment of center, and with a padding of 20 pixels on top and bottom, and a margin on top because like I don't want the text to start immediately. Like here, you just saw there's a gap, right? I just want this gap. I don't want the text to start immediately from the green background. So now our website is like this. If we just give the general footers or CSS, and after this, for each container, like uh, each container and column, like one second, let me show it. We have this for this entire container followed by each of these columns, like, and also these columns are splitted equally. Did you notice that fact? Like here it's around 30%, 30%, 30%. So we'll just use the margin and divide it into 30% itself. Like the width we just divide into 30%. And as in this code, we just used list for these to be in order. We just use the UL tag, and now we have this dots, right? And we don't want this dot. So again, in list style, we just remove these by using none. And yeah, first let's here I again use display flex followed by flex wrap and justify content. And in footer column, I just used width 30% and a margin of 10 pixels. And next over here, I'll just uh, take the footer column for the header, followed by the ordered list and anchor tags like here. Now I just yeah. Mm. And now you can see that I just gave this a border bottom of 2 pixels. Like I don't want an initial underline, so I gave it a border bottom, followed by padding bottom and a margin at the bottom. And next, after this, for this list, like I don't want these dots, right? So I use this list style type as none. Like if I take it, you'll just see the dots, and I don't want the dots, so I just use a none. And again, I give it a margin of 10 pixels. And now here, like we had the anchor tags, right? Oh, one second. Like here we had the anchor tags, HF, FAFA, WhatsApp, and these syntaxes are used to input these icons, FAFA, WhatsApp, FAFA, Instagram. These aren't specific classes. These classes are used to import the icons from this style. So for that, we use these classes. And yeah, in text decoration, it's none. And next here, we just use the paragraph. And here, like, let's go to this last part. Here in this contact, we have this location. And here we have this I tag. Generally, people think it's an italic tag, like for the slant text, but it's in modern HTML is used for an icon tag. Right. And next, after this, we have this 4 href tags for these links. And now we'll just change it over here, like by applying the effects. And for paragraph, we'll just give for and again for this anchor tags, I made text decoration none. And yeah, for the paragraph tags in this one, I just gave it a margin. And then again, in this footer tags, uh, I just gave them a color. And I don't want these WhatsApp, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook to have underline. So yeah, that's why I just gave a font size. And yeah, we're finally done with our website. So this was how we just coded the entire website. So from scratch. And yeah, and finally we are done with our website. So yeah, we are done with our website. So this is how it looks, and this is how we did it from scratch. So yeah, and now like if you guys have any doubts and stuff, like you can ask it. Okay, I just saw a question like, is it available for mobile screen too? And I think in the next session, which is more precise about UI and UX, you'll get a much better answer. So I'll suggest to attend the next session as well. So, okay, and so one person asked like, sometimes I often suffer with margin and padding errors, like how to prevent them. And the basic idea, like for margin and padding, like initially, like we don't know like what type of pixels and space we should do it. So like initially have a picture of the website which you want to have in your mind, and then uh, okay, and then uh, just hit and try like with some basic uh, 10 pixels and stuff. You just try it, and like so on, you'll get it. And also like I forgot to say about one thing. We just have an task in which you guys would be submitting in Google Forms. So, and your task, like we just 1 second, I just share it again. And yeah, and yeah, here just we saw this website, and here we just saw this cell icon. And our task would be just to create the cell interface for this cell. Like, for example, you just create a title description. You just create like title, descriptions, price, buying price, uh, buying date, upload multiple photos allowed, your details, phone number, hostel, or if needed, and then the push button. Like, let me show an example of how it is supposed to look like. Uh, yeah, okay. It's gonna again share this page. Yeah, okay, and now you're able to see this, right? Like, and yeah, here for this cell plus cell icon, your task is to create a selling interface like similar to this one. Where here, just I just gave a few stuff, but it need not be like this. It can be more good, or it can be more good. Of course, it can be more good. And like first, you can start with title, then description, price, buying price, then upload multiple photos allowed. Like I didn't do that much, but you can upload multiple photos or allowed, and your details, phone number, and address and stuff. Like, and that's your task. And I think we'll also sharing about your task on WhatsApp, and also, and we'll just share the Google Form links through which you would share your task and stuff. Okay. And yeah, thank you for attending the session today, and I'll just give it.